Hi, Soul Family. Welcome back to my channel. We talk about all things to heal, grow, and evolve. And in this video, I want to talk about the disconnection from our ancestors with Africans and spirituality, and why Africa as a whole is not progressing. There's a lot of setbacks, delays, a lot of limitations, a lot of stagnicity within Africa as a whole, not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, the way we operate, the way we behave, our thinking processes, the things that we believe within ourselves and our potential, things we can achieve in our life as a whole of Africa is very delayed. And I feel like that is setting us back because of the disconnection from our ancestors and a disconnection from our own spirituality. And so Africans as a whole are very spiritual, especially Nigerians. I'm Nigerian myself, so I can only speak for that. They're very spiritual. They know spirit is real. They know energy is real. But however, that ideology has been twisted and it's been brainwashed by religion and brainwashed by Christianity. The information that we used to have that connects us to ourselves, connects us to our higher power, have been stolen and it's been lost, and it's been replaced by brainwashing ideas, brainwashing thoughts that severs us from that bond, severs us from the true God within ourselves, severs us from the connection that we had with our ancestors, with our spirit guides, our angels. And now a lot of Africans are too religious to see anything outside the Bible due to fear, due to programming, and due to limitations. They're too scared to ask any questions or think for themselves because of this program with religion that they've been programmed to only look at Jesus Christ, only look at God for answers. Don't look anything outside of that, or else you burn in hell. You burn in a pit of fire. The devil will come and take your soul away. And many of these things have been used to put us into this box, this container, for us to not think for ourselves, so we don't really know our true power, know our true value. Because in Christianity, we were taught that we have no power of our own. We have to go to Jesus. We have to go to God to seek assistance, or we go to the pastor to seek assistance. There's always this third party we have to go to. We're not able to communicate to God on our own. And because of that, we've been brainwashed to believe that we don't have any power of our own, that we have to go to somebody to ask for assistance, to connect to God that is already within us. So this, in a sense, creates a disconnection from our spirituality. This is due to colonization within our original spirituality, colonization and demonization of our ancestors and our practices and our tradition before Europeans came and destroyed and took our property, our land, our information, and brainwashed us with things they wanted us to believe within ourselves. And also because of Christianity, the people who came before us, our late family, our ancestors, who were once alive on this earth, are now considered demons because they've been demonized. For even saying ancestors, that word has been demonized in African culture. These ancestors that were once alive in this world, all the way back to ancient times, ancient Kemet times, because people in ancient Kemet were African. These people who are alive, they understand the ways of the world. They know how to work with elements. They know how to connect to your higher self. They know how to know your destiny. They know how to help you elevate as a spiritual being. But now these people are called demons because of ignorance and because of lack of information. The same rhetoric that's been used to colonize our land, colonize our countries, have now been internalized, and we use that on each other. We use that against each other. You're praying to Jesus to release you from poverty when you don't even know yourself. You don't even know your true power, your true abilities. You don't know your spiritual gifts. You don't understand your own destiny. Because like I said earlier, you feel like you have no power of your own. You can only call on Jesus to relieve you from your suffering, relieve you from your stress, instead of trying to take the power back within your own mind. Connect to your ancestors, connecting to your higher self, connecting to your angels and spirit guides. I also think it's very ironic how Africans are very big, they're very heavy on respecting your elders, respecting people older than you. You have to respect, you have to greet these elder ones. They're very big on respect, especially for elders and older people. But as soon as they pass on, now they're considered demonic because they're an ancestor now. The same grandpa and grandpa we once respected when they're alive, now that they've passed on, these same people are now all of a sudden demonic and demons because we call them our ancestors. I feel like that's very ironic, and to me, it doesn't really make any sense. But it's because of the Christianity, the brainwashing, and the demonization of our own people. We call these things what they are. And this, in a sense, is what's disconnecting us from our own spirituality. And because we have this severed bond, this disconnection from ourselves, our powers, our ancestors, this is why Africa as a whole is not progressing. Because our ancestors are the root, they are the foundation. If you look at other cultures, especially Asian cultures, they respect their ancestors. They have ancestors' altars, they give in their homes, they have altars set up, shrines set up in public places, they give offerings, they give food, they honor them, they take care of this space. It's very spiritual, it's very sacred to them. And you see how they're doing in their communities. They see how they're very successful in their communities because of that, because they're connected to their ancestor roots, they're connected to their ancestors in a spiritual sense. They honor them, they work with them, they feed them, they pay attention to them. And that's why they're very successful in that community. But our Africans who have the connection, the original connection to spirituality, we don't really do that as a community. And I feel like that's what's causing many delays in our progression. I also want to add that there are a lot of wicked things that are going on within African spirituality. A lot of Africans know about juju, witchcraft, those sorts. But I feel like there's good and bad of everything. Even with Christians, there's Christians who curse other people, Christians who threaten other people, Christians with evil intentions. So I don't want that to discourage people or so have people in fear of practicing or going into the African spirituality because of that. Because that is only a small portion of people who are doing those type of things, but that should not represent the whole of African spirituality, because African spirituality is about healing, it's about working with elements, working with nature, connecting to yourself, connecting to a higher power for you to evolve and grow. It's all about having knowledge. It is all about evolving to become the best version of yourself. It is not intentionally used to curse other people or go to a babalawo to like curse someone or to go kill and threaten someone. Like, that is not the main purpose of African spirituality, because Christians can do the exact same thing as well. So just because you're Christian doesn't make you any better spiritually than someone else. And that doesn't make you holier than thou either, because Christians can curse someone the same way someone in African spirituality can curse someone as well. So there's good and bad in everything. You don't have to be sacrificing animals. You don't have to sacrifice people. You don't have to do any of those things. It's mostly about connecting to yourself, working with your ancestors, working with spirits, working with higher powers for you to understand yourself at a deeper level and to elevate. All of that other stuff you don't really have to do. It's more about working on yourself and connecting to yourself and higher spirits, higher powers, and building up your energy. That is what it is, in my own opinion. And also having this fear with Christianity, even having the fear of God, fearing God, the one that's supposed to be the all-loving being, the one supposed to love you, the one who created you in their own image. Having that fear of God just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's something I wanted to put out there as well, just as a PSA. So I think of this like a giant tree, the tree of life. The roots on these trees, these are our foundation. This is the roots. This is what's implanted into the ground. It's solid. The tree is not going anywhere. It's stable on its own feet because of these roots. And I feel like the roots are our ancestors, the ones who came before us, the one who paved the way for us, the one who has this knowledge, these understandings of energy, of spirituality, on how to evolve and become a better version of ourselves. All this knowledge, information, they have this information upon them. So this is the root. This is where it all started, the foundation. And it's like just like a tree. If you don't care for it, you don't tend to it, you don't feed it, you don't water it, eventually the tree will wilter off and you will die. But this tree, which is our ancestors, we are never disconnected from them. We can never remove ourselves from these people because our ancestors are within us. They're a part of our DNA. They're part of our blood. So it's not something we can ever just remove ourselves from. This is something that is always within us. Think of it as we are the leaves on these trees. And these African Christians who no longer want to be a part of their ancestors, who think they're demonic, they pluck themselves off of that tree. Eventually, you will wither off and die because you're not connected to that life force anymore. That tree was that life force, and you've plucked yourself off of it. So now you don't have that connection. You don't have that bond that was giving you that knowledge, giving you that information, that was giving you that understanding of spirituality. It's been cut off, it's been severed. So now you're disconnected from that life force, which is your ancestors, which is your original spirituality before Christianity, before colonization. Okay, so what do we do about this? How do we release ourselves from this bond, this hold on Christianity, this hold on religion, so tightly infused with our minds, that we've been brainwashed for decades, brainwashed for centuries, brainwashed for such a very long time, is intertwined within us. It's within our DNA. This topic is so sensitive. Just any little discussion, any little word, if you ask any small question about it, they'll look at you, they'll be very offended, they'll probably try to insult you, they'll probably try to threaten you that you're gonna go to hell, that you're gonna be taken away from the devil and be thrown into the pits of fire. Like, this topic is very sensitive, topic is very controversial to them because of this fear and because of this brainwashing from Christianity have placed on our own people, believing that our ancestors are bad, believing that our African spirituality is demonic because of this brainwashing. So how do we fix this? The first thing we have to do is get rid of this Christian ideology that everything outside the Bible is demonic, because that's what they want us to believe. They want us to think that our own culture is demonic. They want us to believe that our own people are evil. So you don't look at that, so you don't know who you truly are. So you don't know your true power. You don't understand yourself. So you don't connect back to your ancestors, because if you're not connected, you can never evolve and progress as a community and as a society. So connecting back to that source, understanding who you are, understanding the ways of the earth, the ways of life, the ways of your spirituality, and how your culture does it, because every culture will be different. Depending on where you live, it's going to be different for each person. So connecting back to that source, connecting back to that own cultural spirituality. And this is how ancestor veneration starts. This is how it begins. Honoring your ancestors, talking to them. You have to build a communication system between you and spirit. So this is how you communicate with spirit. This is how they give you their knowledge. This is how they give you their wisdom, the things that they learned while they're on this earth, because your ancestors are still here. Once a person dies, they can choose to leave a part of their spirit here with them, and while their soul goes on to the next stages of their life, either to a different dimension or they reincarnate here back on earth. But they can still leave a piece of their spirit here in the astral plane, in the ancestors realm, and you can still work with these ancestors. You can still work with these people, because the spirit still has the same characters, it has the same memories, it has the same personality of how they once were when they were alive on earth. So working with them, creating a space in your home for an altar to give them offerings, burn candles, speak to them, give them libations. This is how you build up your energy, and this is how you build up their energy, because the more you work with them, they gain more energy to do more things for you, and so they can elevate themselves. As they elevate, you elevate. When you elevate, they elevate. So it's an exchange, it's working together. There also has to be a lot of healing work. It's a lot of healing from this brainwashing, a lot of healing from this demonization, a lot of healing work in the mind, emotions, physically, spiritually, in all ways of our lives. A lot of healing has to take place for us to release ourselves from this strangle, this hold Christianity and religion have taken on us Africans. A lot of reprogramming in your mind, a lot of deconditioning of thoughts, deconditioning limiting beliefs, releasing these self-beliefs that we have within ourselves, that we're not able to obtain anything without first going to Jesus Christ, without first going to a pastor, without first praying to Jesus, because you feel like you don't have any power within yourself. Releasing that ideology, and also taking accountability. I think that's so funny, because Africans and accountability should not be in the same sentence, because a lot of Africans, especially the older ones, they have such a hard time taking accountability for their actions, taking accountability for the things that they've done, things that they said, even if they know it's wrong. It's like a lot of them refuse to take accountability for themselves. But you need to take accountability for yourself in order for you to heal and move on. Because in order for you to heal, you have to realize there's a problem before trying to create a solution. So realizing that you've allowed yourself to be brainwashed, allow colonization to really take a hold of you and your people around you, and trying to do something about that, trying to make a change within your family, within your community, and spreading that change. That is how you take accountability. Realizing that there is a problem within yourself first, and trying to create a solution, trying to create a change within you. Because if there is no change within ourselves, how will change come upon the world? We have to be the change to make the change, to have change happen in our lives. So something has to give, something has to go, something has to move. There has to be some type of shift in our mind for us to change things about ourselves. We can't just pray and expect a miracle to come down from the sky. We have to create that within ourselves. So that was what taking accountability is. This is destroying the system of colonization in Africa, breaking down these towers of fear, breaking down these towers of setback, towers of stagnicity, breaking down these towers of just allowing people to just come in and out of our country, just take our land, take our culture, take our food, take our people, and just allowing them to just do whatever they want with our country. Because once you know you're a spiritual being, once you know who you are, you understand your power, you understand your capabilities, you know who you are. So you're not just going to allow anyone to just come into your place and just sever the whole thing, just destroy it and just make it a mess. You're going to defend your land, you're going to defend your people because you know who you are. You know what you're standing up for, you know what you're defending, and you see value in it. But if we're ignorant to ourselves, we don't know anything about it. So it's what makes it easy for people to just come in and out and just take and just do whatever they want to our people and to our land and to our knowledge and information. And this is how we just get walked all over like a doormat. This is why there's such a propaganda against Africans. There's a way that people view us, all of this propaganda that we're all just walking around in mud, that we're all homeless, we're all starving, we're all just looking and begging for food on the street because of that propaganda, because of that vision that people, Europeans, have created on Africa as a whole. That is what has been allowed for us. But if we know who we are, we wouldn't have allowed that to happen to us in the first place. So releasing all this brainwash that we've been placed on, releasing all of these self-limiting beliefs, releasing all of this fear within ourselves, and standing in our truth, knowing who we are, will help us elevate and progress as a whole, as a community. This is how we take back our power. This is how we take control of our African countries, because we know thyself. We know who came before us. We know our own capabilities. And now that we know, no one can take that away from us. So that is a video I wanted to discuss about how I think and why I think Africa is not progressing, because we are disconnected and we are severed from that spirituality. We're severed from our ancestors. We're severed from spirit, from our elements, from our true nature and our true power, and it's been demonized. And so yeah, that's what I wanted to discuss today in this video. I hope this video finds you well. I hope that it resonated with somebody out there. I hope it really helped you really truly understand and dig deep into yourselves, and help you to be inspired to learn more about yourself and your people and your history. That is all I have for this video today. Until next time, bye y'all.